Hello Year 4 and welcome back to another one of our math lessons. We are going to do some more work on division today, still looking at dividing 2-digit numbers by 1-digit numbers, but really looking at those patterns that we might be able to see with the bigger numbers today. So you've got your daily fluency questions here. Spend around about 4 minutes on them and pause the video and off you go, please. Okay, so number 1, 75 divided by 3. You could use a place value chart and some counters to help you with this one, and the answer is 25. Number 2, 60 divided by 3. In the same way, you could use place value counters, or you could recognise that 60 looks a bit like 6. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and then you can add the 0 back on, multiplying it by 10 again, giving you the answer of 20. Number 3, 124 multiplied by 3. You might have used the short method or the long method of multiplication to work this out to get the answer of 372. Number 4, something meters equals half a kilometre. Well, if we know that 1 kilometre is how many metres Year 4? 1,000. Then half a kilometre would be 500 metres because 500 is 1/2 of 1,000. Number 5, 13 divided by 3. This is where we have our remainder work from yesterday, so that is 4 remainder 2. And finally then complete the part whole models. If we know that the first one, 73, has been partitioned into 3 ones, we know we are missing 7 tens, which is 70. And in the second example, this time 73 has been partitioned into 60. So that means we are missing 1 10 and 3 ones. So that is 13. Well done if you got all those correct. Super work. So let's look at the work that we looked at yesterday. So let's look at one example together and then it will be your turn. 87 divided by 4. I have made the number 87 with my place value counters. You can see I have 8 tens and 7 ones. I have now in front of me got my place value chart. I know that because my divisor, the number I am dividing by, is 4, I am going to have 4 rows. Do I start with my tens or my ones first, Year 4? My tens, fantastic. So I can start to put 1 10 in each row. And then I can see that I had 4 tens left over, which meant that I could fit 2 tens in each row. I can then think about my ones. So I know that I have enough to put 1 1 in each row. But can I use these 3 ones? No, I can't, because that would mean 1 row would be without. And we need to make sure that all of my rows have equal amounts of place value counters. So I can see that I have 2 tens and 1 1. Which means that I have made 21. But I have 3 ones left over, which are remaining. Do you remember what happens with these extra values if we haven't used them? Fantastic, we call them our remainders. So 87 divided by 4 is 21 remainder 3. Good work, Year 4, and super remembering. We could also look at a part whole model to help us with this. So 87 here has been partitioned into 80, 8 tens, and 7. 80 divided by 4 is 20, and 7 divided by 4 is 1 remainder 3. There is 1 4 in 7, and we cannot make another group of 4 in 7, so we have remainder 3. Exactly what we have found here. What I would like you to have a go at is pause the video and have a go at this question, 73 divided by 3. See if you can put your answers into a part whole model too. Pause the video and have a go. Okay, so I have got 73 with my place value counters, 7 tens and 3 ones. I've then got my place value chart. This time I only have 3 rows. Why do I only have 3 rows? Because my divisor is 3, fantastic. So I can start by putting my tens in each row. So 1 10 in each row, and I can see I have enough to have 2 tens in each row. But because one of my tens is left over, what am I going to do with it? Absolutely, I'm going to exchange it for 10 ones. So I now have got 13 ones to split between 3 rows. So I'm going to put them in now, making sure that I have equal amount of counters in each of my rows. I can see that I'm left with 1. So I have got 2 10s and 4 1s, which means I have got 24, but I've got this one remaining. So 24 remainder 1 is my answer. Now let's look at my part whole model. We can't partition this number into 70 and 3 because we had to exchange one of our 10s. So we chose to partition this number into 6 10s, as we can see here, which is 60, and 13 1s. We know that our divisor is 3, so we can try and divide 60 by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2, so 60 divided by 3 must be 20. And we found that out. And then we can try and divide 13 by 3. Now we know that 3 does not go into 13 equally. It goes into 13 4 times, but with a remainder of 1. And that is how we have found our answer. Now I would like you to have a go at questions 1, 2 and 3 on the worksheet. Pause the video and spend some time on those now, please. Okay, we are now going to focus on how we can use knowledge of just one answer to a division sum to find the answer to multiple other answers too. So we found out earlier that 73 divided by 3 was 24 remainder 1. How could we use this information to help us work out the rest of these? Pause the video and have a think. Okay, so if we know that 72 is 1 less than 73, then my answer will have 1 less of a remainder. So 72 divided by 3 would be 24. Similarly, if I know that 74 is 1 more than 73, then we already know that it's going to have 1 more remainder. So my answer to this would be 24 remainder 2. Even similarly, there 75 divided by 3, 75 is 1 more than 74. So surely it would be 24 remainder 3. But would it? Have a think. No, because we can see here we have got enough remainders to make another group because our divisor is 3. So we could make the number 25. And 76 is 1 more than 75, so we'd have 1 more remainder, which would be 25 remainder 1. With the questions on the right here, we have found out that 92 divided by 4 is 23, and we could use this pattern to work out what the rest of the answers to these sums would be. So 93 is 1 more than 92, so it would have 1 more remainder. Similarly, 94 is 1 more than 3, so it would have another remainder. 95 is 1 more than 94, so it would have another remainder. Unlike this set of questions here, when we had a remainder of 3, we know that we could make a group out of that and make it to a whole number. This time our divisor is 4, so we can only make whole numbers with groups of 4, which is what we can do with this one here, 96 divided by 4. Now we know it wouldn't be 23 remainder 4 because then we'd have had a remainder of 4 to make another group, which is what we've done. And then we look at 97 being 1 more than 96, meaning that it has a remainder. So the one thing that we need to remember is the remainder must be less than the divisor. So here, if we had the remainder of 3, we could turn that into a group. But if we had the remainder of 2 or 1, then that was fine. The remainder must always be less than the divisor. Okay. We could use questions and answers to sums that we already know to help us to answer those that we might not already know. So if 75 divided by 5 was 15, what will 78 divided by 5 be? Also, if 92 divided by 7 is 13 remainder 1, what would 99 divided by 7 be? Pause the video here and have a think if you can see the relationship between these numbers like we've looked at and experimented with here. Off you go. Okay, well if 78 is 3 more than 75, then we know that 3 is not enough to make a group because our divisor is 5. So the answer to the first one would be 15 remainder 3. In the second option, 99 is 7 more than 92. And we know that we can make a group because our divisor is 7. But we can't get rid of the remainder. So 99 divided by 7 would be 14 remainder 1. Okay, let's have a look at this question here. 79 divided by something equals 19 remainder 3. This is quite similar to the question that we looked at yesterday, and we're going to have a go at working it out today. Pause the video before we work through it together and have a think, how could you work this question out? Off you go. Okay, so we can first of all make 79 using place value counters. We have 7 tens and 9 ones. We also know that we have a remainder of 3, so we can put these counters to the side for now so that we can start making groups of 19 to see how many groups we have, for then we can work out what our divisor was. So we could make our first group of 19 using 1 10 and some of our ones, but we can see we've only used 5 ones, and to make 19 we need 9 ones. So what could we do with one of these tens? We could exchange 1 10 for 10 ones, and then we could move the rest of the ones 4 ones across to make 19. We can then do this again with 1 10, 6 ones, and then exchange the 10 for 10 ones and include 3 of them there to make another group of 19. We could then do this again twice more. How many groups of 19 do we have? That's right, we have 4 groups. So 79 divided by 4 equals 19 remainder 3. Fantastic. Pause the video now and have a go at the rest of the questions on the worksheet, please. We are going to look at 2 reasoning and problem solving questions today. The first one is when Amy, Ken and Sabia put all their erasers, so rubbers, together, they had 86 in total. They shared them equally between 7 tables, and Amy says, I think each table will get 12 rubbers or erasers and 3 will be left over. Is Amy correct? Explain your answer. Pause the video and try and work out 86 divided by 7 so you can find out if Amy is correct or incorrect. Off you go. Okay, so if you'd work this out, you will find that Amy was incorrect. Now, we could prove Amy was incorrect by showing our working out to our marker, but we also need to explain our answer using this magic word because. Now, we know that if we've worked this out, that Amy is incorrect because they would get 12 erasers on each table, because this would use 84 erasers, and 86 take away 84 is 2, so there will be 2 left over. So the correct answer will be 12 remainder 2, not 12 remainder 3. Our final question today is another reasoning question, so another why question, explain your brain. Now Daniel is using place value counters to show the problem 72 divided by 7. And Daniel says the correct answer is 11 remainder 1. Is Daniel correct? And if so, why? And if not, why not? 72 divided by 7, pause the video and work it out please. Okay, if you've worked this out, you will find that Daniel is incorrect, but we need to explain his mistake. We want to imagine that this is a place value chart, and this is our tens, and this is our ones. Look what he's put in the tens column by mistake. He's put a 1 in the tens column, and that shouldn't be there because the tens should only go in the tens column, and the tens can go in the ones column if they've been exchanged for 10 ones. So his mistake is that he'd incorrectly put a 1 in the tens column, so actually the answer should be 10 remainder 2 because this one should be in this column. Okay, now it's over to you to do your learning for the day. So you have the 2 math sheets. Remember to use your knowledge, and if you know one sum, for example, if you know 73 divided by 3, you can use this to work out 74 divided by 3 and 75 divided by 3. So on your sheet today you will find there's a lot of division sums and it looks quite overwhelming. But it's really not, because you can use what we've learnt today about finding the pattern to work them out. As long as you've worked out one, you can work out the next one in the sequence and the next one after that. But remember, the remainder has to be less than the divisor. Have a lovely rest of your day and I will see you in our next video. Bye Year 4.